A tripod? Nope. Okay, so today we're setting up a Pellergy flexible bulk wood pellet bin. We'll be setting up the bin 2.0, which is our smallest wood pellet bin, capacity of just over 2.1 tons. And the first thing we're going to do is cut the dimensional lumber that's picked up in a lumber yard, 4x4 posts and 9.5 inch by inch and 3/4 LVL beams. The dimensions are on the sheet, which is downloadable from our website and supplied with the flexible bulk bin information. And as you can see on the sheet, we're looking to cut the 4x4 posts at dimension B. So here's the 4x4 post length. So we'll cut these 4x4s at 80 inches. We have 4 8-foot 4x4s. Each of them will be cut at 80 inches. The next thing we're going to do is cut our LVL beams, and the LVLs will be cut at the E dimension, which is the 73 inches. However, the E dimension is the overall dimension of the unit itself, of the bulk bin. So what we want to do, and you can see in the diagram, each corner overlaps one another. So we want to take off the thickness of the LVL itself. So it's actually going to be the 73 inches minus 1 3/4. So we'll be down to 71 inches, 71 3/4, or 71 1/4 inches to get to where we want to be, 71 1/4. So just to recap, we've got 4 4x4s at 80 inches and 4 LVL beams at 73 inches minus 1 3/4 for the thickness, so we get our overlap. Step 2 in the process is bolting together the cross members. The cross members have holes on either end, and you want to overlap the holes that have the longest overlap. So on the ends where the lag bolts will lag into the upright beams, or posts rather, you want those to be closest to the end. The holes will be closest to the end of the cross members. When bolting the cross members together, make sure they're nice and square. And you can see we're using the nice level floor to square those up in this case. So step 3 in setting up the 2-ton bin is going to be to set up the frame that the flexible silo will hang from. And the first thing we're going to do is lay the 2 beams down on the floor and set them at the distance F apart. And as we can see, distance F on here is 60 inches. So we'll lay out our 2 first posts at 60 inches and attach the cross members. So as a part of step 3, we've laid out the first 2 posts, and in this case use the wall to square them up and to put them at the 60 inches apart inside dimension. If you don't have a wall to use to square up the posts, using one of the additional 4 posts will work to square that up. In addition, we've measured 6 inches up from the bottom of the post and connected the cross piece, and then 6 inches down from the top where the bottom of the bracket will be. So a total of 18 inches from the top of the post lands you at 6 inches below the bracket. So step 4 in the process is we'll stand up this set of posts, just using the wall to hold it in place. And next we'll attach the other cross members to these 2 posts, so that one by one we can attach the remaining 2 posts and have a freestanding frame to set our bag on. So as you work your way around the bin, attaching the cross braces and setting up the legs, this is where it's a good idea to have 2 people, one supporting the post without 2 cross braces, because it can topple and bend the cross braces. In setting up the frame, it's important to support the posts until all of the cross members get put in place. So by pre-marking the posts at the 18 inches from the top and 6 inches from the bottom, With two guys, we're able to both support and attach the cross braces using the supplied lag bolts. Once the frame is set up and all the cross braces are in place, double checking the measurement in between both top and bottom posts to ensure we haven't had any drift. In this case, with the bin 2.0, it's 60 inches. In addition, before filling the bin, once the actual flexible silo is in place, we'll make sure that each of the legs are plumb. The next step is to position the auger box in the orientation and position that you want in the center of the 4 posts for the bulk bin. And then bring the bulk bin, the actual flexible sack, into the frame and locate the side with the Pellergy logo. The side with the Pellergy logo also has the fill port for automatic fill and the manual fill port on the same side. In this case, we'll want the fill port and the Pellergy logo on the same side as the clean out door of the auger box.
With the logo located and positioned properly on the side, you will notice the manual fill port just above the Pellergy logo, a nominal 12-inch diameter, the small 6-inch diameter automatic fill on the top, and on the bottom, the 12-inch diameter takeout port, which is to be put on the top of the auger box with the retainer ring.
With the base legs assembled and the auger box and bag mated together, the next step is to put the post tops on, making sure that the 2 angle brackets are facing the outward in the outward position. On those angle brackets, the LVL beams will rest. With the post top brackets in place, the LVL beams can then be slid through the pockets on the flexible bag and then hung in place on the post top brackets. With one beam hanging, it's good to work around the bin in a clockwise or counterclockwise fashion, typically saving the loops on the front of the bag or the logo side of the bag for last, as the logo side has 2 loops as opposed to just 1 loop on every other side. The 2 loops are there to be in between the fill connection. The fill connection will be on the top of the bag. The connector remains above the top LVL beam when fully installed and can be supported by overhead brackets or actually screwed down to the LVL beam itself. With the frame assembled, bag connected to the auger box, and fill pipe connected, the last step is to use 4-inch timber lock screws and lag in the 2 LVL beams that are overlapping on each corner. This gives the frame a little bit more rigidity and will prevent any racking of the system.